What's up, guys? Hope you're doing well. Hey, I want to share a way that God has provided for me, another just kind of piece of the puzzle in this journey of entrepreneurship, and that is with capital, and specifically capital that did not belong to me. And so when I transitioned into entrepreneurship, I've shared before that what I thought I would do was purely run a financial advisory firm and then also see if Budget for Life could really turn into something. And through my role serving the local church in my in the financial capacity and through college pastoring, it basically ended up to where I became motivated to also start a reselling business so that I could sublease 5,000 square feet from this building so that our church could afford to move into it. So I run into this joyous endeavor, which is I'm gonna fill a 5,000 square foot warehouse with stuff. Not necessarily just floor to ceiling, but like the more of this space that's just space is like, it's costing me money. It doesn't even have the potential to generate revenue. Whereas if I can take advantage of the square feet, and especially if I can start to take advantage of the cubic feet, man, this would hopefully start to really crank some dollars out, you know? And so I began that journey buying truckloads of pallets and you know, spent several $1,000s on a truckload full of ride-on vehicles, and then I did another ride-on vehicle one, and then I did a general returns one, and I did a, you know, hardware and kind of home reno type gear, and another general returns, and then one full of toys, and then one full of outdoor patio grilling and sports equipment, and anyways, lots of money being spent on stuff that, of course, you're trying to flip for a profit, but also I'm not just trying to flip for a profit and then take out a profit. I'm trying to I'm trying to grow inventory, right? And so, you know, super expensive to actually to accomplish that. And so here's what happened is, as I started ramping up and we're making money, and you know, we're making money on the stuff, that's kind of like not too difficult. The more difficult part is like make enough money to also pay for everything else you need to operate at this scale. But that's neither here nor there. So you're paying for stuff, you're buying more stuff, I'm telling people how it's going if they ask me about it. But someone that I was talking to asks me, hey, would you want me to like buy, you know, a couple truckloads? Like, what's it cost for a truckload? And maybe I could get one or two or three, and we could work something out. You give me a return, you know, kind of tied to the performance of the stuff you buy, and you can just rock with those funds. You know, if it'll help you scale sooner, if it's a win for you, you know, if you could pay me blank percentage, it's a win for me. And I start crunching the numbers. I'm like, actually, that sounds like a great idea. It wasn't like I'm about to flame out and I desperately need these funds. You know, really for as long as I've had any funds, I've tried to keep as much of it as possible invested in securities, aka the stock market, and I like that. That's kind of like, that's my bread and butter. That's where I come from. I don't come from mega-sized warehouse resale business, you know, but I'm getting, look out, because I'm getting kind of good slowly but surely, y'all. But what this allowed me to do is scale inventory faster and without having to liquidate my investment portfolio in order to do so. So it allowed me to, hey, I can have this business going, and I can have this business going, and I can have our investments going, and that none of them have to cease operations for the sake of another one. And so that was super appealing to me. And the reason I'm sharing this as a testimony is because I didn't even have this idea. That didn't even strike me as a possibility that, oh, someone would want to invest in a local business and receive a guaranteed return on their money. I kind of assumed if you're trying to raise capital for a business, I've just really watched Shark Tank, and I just feel like normally I just assumed if you're raising capital, you're giving up equity, aka you're giving up a percentage of the ownership of the business. And that's not something I was interested in doing, because I think it's going to be worth a lot more than it would have been priced at, in May 2022. And so it didn't even cross my mind to even think about raising capital. And so that's reason number one why it's totally like a total God provision. Reason number two is, and it kind of goes hand in hand, but this person offered that to me. And so it wasn't my idea, and it also, even once I was given the idea, it wasn't something I pursued. It was something that was offered to me, and that's how I got the idea, was there's an offer on the table. So that's also a crazy God provision. A couple other things related to it is of course fueling the business, but also that happened again in another conversation where someone, without me prompting at all, offered to contribute an investment into the warehouse. And now there's a little crew of warehouse investors that, again, not my idea, and it started with people of their own accord bringing it up to me as an option. The other thing that's cool is these first two people that offered this were people who knew me primarily because of my role in their kids' lives as a discipler, as a friend, as a disciple at times, people that trusted my character because of what I gave for free, in a sense, through my time and service and ministry. And that led to a key opportunity in the place of entrepreneurship. So pretty awesome, right? I mean, right? I think so. That's pretty much the gist of the testimony. And just wanted to say that, again, kind of similar to even getting in the warehouse space in the first place, these decisions that you make selflessly, or that you make for the greater good of the local church, they don't just leave you out to dry, but you don't necessarily even know how that could turn around to be of benefit later on. And so I'm just so thankful for how relationships that felt like they had run their course turned into way longer term and way more strategic than I ever would have thought. And I wasn't doing it to have a strategic relationship at the time, but it turned into that. And so that's all I got for y'all today. Hey, God's a great provider. He's creative. He's a genius. I said that's all I got, and then I said some more. Life is worship. God is love. Talk to y'all soon.